What's a lie your partner told you that ended up having a positive impact on your relationship? My husband Jake was a software engineer who lived and breathed code. For 8 months straight, he worked 16-hour days on this massive project for his startup company. He was building this new security system from scratch, debugging every line himself, running on maybe 4 hours of sleep each night. The bags under his eyes got so dark, I started worrying he might collapse. His manager kept dropping hints about a big promotion coming up. Senior developer position, $40,000 raise, the whole package. Jake was convinced he had it locked down since he basically built half their infrastructure himself. The other developers would come to him when they got stuck on problems. Then came that Friday morning in March. Jake walked into the office expecting good news, but his manager called him into the conference room with this weird look on his face. 20 minutes later, Jake came home looking like someone had punched him in the stomach. They gave the promotion to this guy Daniel, who had only been there for 6 months. Daniel was one of those smooth talkers who took credit for other people's work during meetings. His code was decent, but nothing special. Jake had trained him on half the systems he was now going to manage. Jake sat on our couch staring at the wall for 3 hours. When I asked what happened, he just shook his head and said, maybe he wasn't cut out for this. Maybe he should have studied business instead of computer science. Maybe he was kidding himself thinking he was actually good at programming. I had never seen my husband doubt himself like that. This was the same guy who could solve coding problems in his sleep, who got headhunted by other companies every few months. But now he was talking about maybe switching careers entirely. That night, I was in our bedroom when I heard Jake on a video call with his coworkers. At least that's what I told him I heard the next morning. I came into the kitchen while he was making coffee and said I had overheard something pretty shocking. I told him Daniel's father apparently had some kind of business connection with the CEO. Someone on the call mentioned that the promotion was basically rigged from the start. I said I heard Jake's team lead saying his code was the cleanest in the entire company, but politics always won over talent in corporate environments. None of that was true. I made up every single word, but Jake's whole face changed when I said it. The defeat in his eyes turned into this quiet anger. Not rage, but determination. He started pacing around the kitchen, talking about how he should have seen it coming, how these big companies never actually rewarded merit. That weekend, Jake started sketching out ideas for his own mobile app, some kind of productivity tool for small businesses. He worked on it every evening after his day job, coding until midnight in our spare bedroom. When I brought him dinner, he would barely look up from his screen. 3 months later, he quit his job. I was terrified we would run out of money, but Jake had this confidence I had never seen before. He kept saying he was done letting other people control his career path. He was going to build something himself and prove his worth. The first year was rough. Jake worked from coffee shops, our kitchen table, anywhere with decent Wi-Fi. He lived on energy drinks and determination. Some days he would hit coding roadblocks that made him want to give up, but then he would remember what I told him about that fake conversation and push through. Slowly, clients started signing up for his app. Small restaurants, local contractors, people who needed simple scheduling tools. Jake added new features based on their feedback. He hired his first employee after 18 months, then 3 more over the next year. 2 years after he quit, Jake's company was bringing in 6 figures annually. He had 5 employees, a small office downtown, and was getting featured in tech blogs. More importantly, he seemed genuinely happy for the first time since I had known him.